Budget magic time. Looking to lock our opponents in modern with knowledge pool and rule of law and such. We're a little land light, but we have a million lock pieces, which actually isn't great. We don't really need 3 cursive exhaustion effects, rule of law effects. We'd be much better off having just one of those. See what our opponent's on. Ooh, Urza's Tower. Well, the good news is if we can resolve our combo before we die, we can win. The bad news is if our opponent gets down a quick Ugin or something. Oh boy. Well, they're going to have Tron on turn 3. We do have the Ghost Quarter. The problem is if we Ghost Quarter... I mean, we have a shot in this matchup because of our Ghost Quarter effects. Alright, we drew a Plains. That really helps. Our opponent searched for an Urza's Mine. So I think what we got to do here is just play the Plains. I think on our opponent's... It doesn't matter. We'll just do it right now. Kill the tower with the Ghost Quarter. 4 Ghost Quarters is good against Tron. Plains? Oh, this might be the like eggs version of Tron. Signet, blue-white Tron. Let's remand the Signet. Remand. Another Ghost Quarter is pretty sweet. So do we just Ghost Quarter again and hit the power plant or something? Or do we play a Rule of Law? We don't have any counters. Problem is, if they just go Urza's Tower into something big, we basically just lose. But I would love to get the Rule of Law down. Yeah, I think we just got to Ghost Quarter. I think that's what we need to do. Just hit the... What did they search for? They searched for a mine. So let's hit the mine. Another Plains. So now we guarantee that they're not too close to resolving Tron. And if they are the eggs version, our Cursive Exhaustions and Rule of Law is going to be excellent. Wall of Omens. I have no idea what's happening. They probably have counters. Oh, Signet. Okay. I do not know what this is. Good God. Well, do we even want a Rule of Law here? I think we don't. Since we have 3 Cursive Exhaustions, I think we just wait and start playing Cursive Exhaustions. They have Academy Ruins they can use to start getting back map. So they will be able to put Tron back together thanks to Academy Ruins. Well, we're just going to start playing Cursive Exhaustions until one of them eventually resolves. Well, we got one down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Our opponent can theoretically play a Karn or Nugan next turn, if they happen to have one. They draw a tower. I'm really not familiar with this version of the list, so I don't know what their big finishers are. Mindslaver. Oh, I see. Oh, remand would have been nice last turn. Guess we just play Glacial Fortress and pass. Would have been nice to be able to counter that Mindslaver last turn. There's the Mindslaver. Well, we don't have anything too great that they can do with our hand. They can tap us out so we can't counter anything, though. But unless they're like slow rolling a Tron piece, I gotta pay 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Unless they're slow rolling a Tron piece, they're gonna play Rule of Law. Okay. And then what? Counter it? Alright, they play Rule of Law, counter our Rule of Law. Who knows if they will scry to the top or the bottom. They might leave those on top. Top and bottom. So we're drawing the tap land, which means we can't get the knowledge pool down next turn. And our opponent did not choose to put the Mindslaver on top of the library. Now they're going to. Do they have a way to draw a card? No. Alright, so we play Tranquil Cove and pass. I think this works out fine, actually. Because our opponent can only play one spell each turn. So we just remand the Mindslaver, and they can't recast anything. Then the question will be, do they have a counter for the knowledge pool? If not, then we just win. So, remand on Mindslaver. And we drew another remand, so technically we could wait another turn and remand again. You can't cast another spell. Oh, they're just going to put it on top? Oh man, it is really tempting to just slam this knowledge pool. I mean, we either slam knowledge pool now or we slam it later. If they have a counter, then we lose. That's basically what it comes down to. Oh, it resolved. Alright, that's game over. We got there. Celestial Purge, Elishnor, an Expedition map. So this is like Gifts Tron. So I think we're good now. The only thing we really got to be aware of is Celestial Colonnade, I think, is played in this build. Our opponent's going to learn that they can't cast spells. So their Timely gets exiled. They can't cast another spell. That is the way the lock works. Oh, you get so many of these sweet long pauses as our opponent learns how Knowledge Pool and Curse of Exhaustion works. We'll find out. If they don't scoop, then I'm sure that means they have a creature land. Either that or it could mean that they just don't understand the lock still. Also possible. It is kind of confusing. And definitely not something that you run into normally in Modern. Path. So we can path. we can path and play Mindslaver. I think. What happened to the Mindslaver? Well, let's path and thirst. Path and thirst. Find a way to actually finish this game. Ghost Quarter, thirst. Well, we can discard 2 curses. They do nothing now. Play Ghost Quarter and just pass the turn. So now we basically just want to find our Chrono Savant, discard it, put it back onto the battlefield. If our opponent has an Ulamog, that is one card that can get out from under this lock. I think it is basically the only card in Modern that can get out from under this lock. They cast Mindslaver, gets exiled. Our opponent still hasn't really figured out what's happening. Give him some time. Oh, I'm having too much fun with this. To me, this is about the most fun thing in Magic, is playing some crazy combo like this that Oh, that you can tell your opponent obviously has never played it before and doesn't really understand what's happening. To me, that is a good time. I'm sure my opponent probably doesn't like it. Probably should have just taken the Elish Norn, I guess. And we will. I'll play Thirst and get the Elish Norn and we'll start beating down. For some reason, I wasn't thinking about the Elish Norn in there. And Mindslaver doesn't even do anything because we can't even cast any spells. I don't believe. Because we are controlling that player. So I don't think that even works. So I think we just... Our opponent's still not scooping. Alright, so... We'll just Thirst for Elish Norn, beat down for a couple turns, and that'll finish the game. So Thirst gets exiled. We get to cast Elish Norn. We get to start attacking with Elish Norn. And a few turns from now, we will finally win. Glacial Fortress, pass the turn. We could play Curse of Exhaustion and cast something under Knowledge Pool, but I don't even know. Celestial Purge doesn't do anything. Expedition Map. We could use an Expedition Map eventually to get a land destruction, like a Ghost Quarter or something. But we don't need to do that yet. Attack with the Elish Norn. Fairy Conclave. I think we are going to get rid of Urza's Tower. I don't think this build is playing Ulamog. I'm not especially worried about it, but there is a slight chance that they are. And because of that, I think we're going to go with the Cast a Curse, get a Expedition Map, sack Expedition Map, get a Tech Edge, play the Tech Edge. Oh, did I already play land? That was a bummer. Oops. Not that it matters. I mean, we got a pretty hard lock going on. So we're against Tron. I'm thinking it's probably Gifts Tron, but I'm not 100% sure. So Relic deals with Mindslaver lock. Don't think we need Ether Spellbomb. Negate is probably good. Might be better than Condescend. Disenchant also seems fairly good. We need to make a couple cuts, though. I guess we can get rid of the Rule of Law. Go down a Condemn and a Mana Leak. Try it like that, maybe? Do we want the Supreme Verdicts? We did see Elish Norn, and we don't really know... Do we care about Elish Norn? We can path Elish Norn. We don't know what other creatures they may have. Well, we'll try it like that. So, our recipe for success is drawing lots of Ghost Quarters and getting the lockdown. We have a Ghost Quarter. Not bad. And a Curse. Supreme Verdict might not be very good in this situation, but the Signet's nice. That should be helpful. So I'm thinking this is Gifts Tron, so not only can they Tron, but they can also Gifts into the Elish Norn Reanimator package. So my guess is that's what's happening. I played a Gifts Tron deck. The thing that throws me off is I thought that Celestial Colonnade was a 4 of in that deck, and like a really important part of that deck. So I'm a little surprised if it is Gifts Tron that our opponent wouldn't be playing that. Well, I guess we just be jerks and kill this Expedition Map. If our opponent draws a second land, that would let them get their third land, but this takes that option off the table. So now they're still only on 2 lands. Wall of Omens draws them a card. Not bad. We know that we have a Ghost Quarter around the corner to make sure they stay off of Tron. I wouldn't be surprised if they brought in some counter spells. That would be what I would do in this situation. So let's Azorius Signet, Tranquil Cove. I don't think we're attacking with Fairy Conclave next turn anyway, so Tranquil Cove is fine here. Next turn we're probably just playing Curse, and, well, since we drew a I hate signets on Magic Online. You gotta tap them in an odd order. Since we drew... They didn't draw anything, I think we'll just play the Fairy Conclave now, and the Curse. Hopefully they can't just disenchant it or something. And slow rolling the Ghost Quarters is kind of nice. Timely. Alright. Gains our opponent some life. I don't know why they care about gaining... Oh my god. And we just peeled a Knowledge Pool. So, good game, Tron. Oh, that was some good running on our part. Just to randomly draw into the lock. I think even if our opponent had a better draw, we probably still beat him. That was just really solid drawing. So there is a Gifts. This is Gifts Tron. But our opponent can't do anything. So basically, the plan now is 13 turns of Fairy Conclave. Unless we draw our Chrono Savant or something. If they get Tron together, we'll Ghost Quarter, but at this point it doesn't matter. Jeez, we are drawing all of our Ghost Quarters. I guess we might as well start tapping one of them to activate our Fairy Conclave with Signet. Alright, the countdown is on. 12 attacks, including this one. That has to be such a depressing way to lose. You get hard locked so you can't cast any spells, and your opponent beats you to death 2 life at a time with Fairy Conclave. I'd play Celestial Colonnade if I had that option, but it's way outside of our budget, so... here I think we need to Ghost Quarter a Tron piece, just in case Ulamog would get them out from under it. And they would have enough mana if they drew the 3rd piece to activate it. Because Ulamog triggers when it's cast, so even though it would be exiled with Knowledge Pool, it can get rid of the Knowledge Pool. Alright, down to 10 more attacks. Fairy Conclave beats. Gonna get there. I can't imagine, with us having 3 Ghost Quarters, that our opponent can get through this. Okay, they try to repeal. Sorry, opponent. Repeal gets exiled, and you can't cast another spell. This might be scoop time, as our opponent realizes that the lock does indeed work the same way in Game 2 as it does in Game 1. We are drawing counters that don't really matter. I wouldn't mind drawing something that sped up our clock a bit. I guess we could Gifts. And our opponent scoops it up. Sweet! This deck is so much fun. Oh, so much fun.